Get it. Come over here, get it. Get it. Swear to God, mommy, I'm not patient. If you know the arrangement for who you engage with, it be like I've been stamping the pavement. I just like you, we just placed in the face when you start to face me. And if I
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Mel Hurry Show. It's been a while, right? But it's been a while, but I always save, the best things for like a long time away from podcasting and YouTubing. So I would like to actually welcome back a guest that you may recall that I interviewed a while back. Her name is Che. Well, we know her as Bae-Lea. So Bae-Lea, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Mel Hurry Show. Tell me what's been going on. There's been a lot of been a huge journey music wise. So tell us about it. What's been happening in your life?
Okay. Yeah. Huge even feels like an understatement, to be honest. So what happens is on the last show, I was talking about my social enterprise, Queens. And I feel like after that, it was really an exploration of my own creative journey, because what started happening as I started doing some development work is it seemed like the universe was putting in alignment that it was my time to basically release a lifetime of music catalogue, creativity and ability, really. So what started to happen is I started doing new recordings. I got some really exceptional feedback. I really quickly started getting some quite huge opportunities that were happening musically, because a lot of the messages, the recordings were resonating with people. So I found myself at the start of me releasing myself as a commercial rapper, basically in the UK music industry, and also looking at my production side of things as well.
Nice.
That's how Bae-Lea was there.
Wow, amazing. And congratulations on this journey, because I know finding yourself and actually putting yourself out there is a huge deal. It's not something that just comes overnight. And obviously, there's the confidence building, there's this point of self-discovery, and there's this part saying, should I do it? Yes or no? So well done you on making that decision, because it seems like you've been getting some really good feedback. And I know, obviously, as the viewers can see, we've got some pop-ups happening with all the feedback that you've been receiving so far. So obviously, you've gone through this major transition within a year. How has that been going for you? And also hearing the feedback that, the viewers are now kind of seeing on the screen right now.
Wow. I tell you what happened, Mel. In terms of a journey, it's been really enlightening. You get to a point in life where you start maturing and things start evolving, and you can sometimes feel like you've reached the ceiling. I actually feel like what this journey has done is blown the doors off the hinges, and it has really opened up the idea that I am an artist that is able to provide a message that really isn't heard in modern day music. And I think kind of the feedback kind of alluded to that. And what I never realized until I started going out, being brave enough to get that industry feedback, was how much my music resonated with people, how much the things that I was talking about were underrepresented, very much so in terms of topics discussed by modern hip hop, rap, within the international and national arenas. I think also what hit me was how much they identified my sound as being very unique.
Yeah.
You can have in your head, when you've been doing music as long as I do, an idea of how you want people to receive you. And then there's that nervousness that, will that message catch on? Will people become inspired by what you do? Will people follow your intention when you're making that music, for the difference that you intend for that to have, for the way you want that received? And what blew me away and really humbled me was people told me that they wanted it, they liked it, they found that it was a very good standard. I was given the opportunity to be on a radio, which it's covered in 120 countries.
Amazing.
And that was one of the first tracks that I made.
Yeah.
And that really, for me, gave me that confidence from somebody that believed I had something special.
Yeah.
Actually feeling like I was filling a void in this industry and really had the power to expand on that and start a journey that could push the musical boundaries, give those messages I felt were missing, and really make a difference and be credible and get recognised for the talent that I feel I possess.
Absolutely amazing. And I'm just going to come on to these messages shortly, but I know previously you were known as and now you're Bae-Lea. So tell us a little bit about the change of these. Is it a persona? Is it a character? Like what's the kind of, the background story from that transition?
Okay, so I'm going to kind of take you through first. So stands for unapologetically me. And anybody that knows me in a personal or professional context knows that I am what it says on the tin. That I don't ever apologise for the person I am. Though I'm very respectful, I very much am a lady of her own mind. I very much like to relay important messages, and anything I do, I like it to make a difference. And I am not somebody that is ever swayed into trying to be a version of anybody else but myself, you know? And for me, there is applicable parts of that still resonate with the music that I make. However, I didn't feel it fully embodied me. Bae-Lea is my birthright. It is my past, it is my present, and it will be my future. It's a legacy that anything that I do in life will be relayed via that name.
Yes, yeah.
And I want my legacy to be a musical one.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's where that comes from.
Amazing. Well, I mean, Bae-Lea, like obviously, I've heard some of your tracks, and like I said, looked at some of that feedback, and when we did have a catch up, I mean, huge transition, a lot of successful transition as well, which I know doesn't come overnight. So are you able to kind of go into maybe some of the antics of the blood, sweat and tears that took place with this movement, or like any sort of things that you could probably share with us? Because I'm thinking I've got a lot of viewers out there that are trying to express themselves a little bit more, whether that's creatively or in other areas. So give us a bit of an insight as to what sort of that, what that journey was like for you.
Okay, so I believe that like what defines us in life is our ability to not allow our externals to impact or negatively affect our character, the people we are. I think we need to evolve and we need to be the best versions of ourselves every day. So I'll tell you what that looks like for me. I'm somebody that is socially conscious and worldly aware of what is going on around me. I wasn't prepared in the current climate of hearing about things like racial discrimination. I'm very socially conscious and I stay very close to those communities that are underrepresented. So as an example, people of colour.
Yeah.
So I'm still in a situation where I'm hearing things that don't even seem real. People are being shot dead with very little exposure in comparison to much more menial, superficial things that are readily available to us every day on the news through the media. And I thought, you know what, I can sit at home and cry because it hurts, because for me, it doesn't have to happen to me to hurt. If it happens to anybody that it deserves to happen to, it hurts. So how can I reach the biggest volume of people to make people look at the things that I'm talking about and start to ask why we are living in that climate? Absolutely. The answer to that is music. Because when we hurt, we listen to music. When we celebrate, we listen to music. When we're heartbroken, we listen to music. Can we not look at all of this inequality? Can we not look at all of these things that keep getting swept into the carpet in different media formats, culturally in different sort of ways? Okay, let's put this together. Why does this look like that? How is this affecting us? And how can we change it? If nobody is making that discussion, the topics can't follow on. But we can never do anything to make a tangible difference. And that's what I decided to do. And there's a blood, sweat and tears. The blood, sweat and tears is sitting down. How can we typify, how can I as an artist typify the things that are affecting me and my community and people that deeply matter to me, and put a message out there that is thought-provoking, that is conscious, that can make people stop to go, actually, I've never thought of it like that. Why are we like this still? Why haven't these movements progressed in any way? That was that good for me. And that's why I'm going to talk about that first, because it hit me first. So what I did was I looked at all of the things that were happening to the Black community that affected me the most. I used that song to summarize a state of being for the feeling of what was happening to the communities. And that was both nationally and internationally, some cases in America, some cases in the UK. I thought about the things that were happening with people that had experienced police brutality, racial equality, racial profiling. So looked at those cases that actually, sadly, had to happen in order to get the media coverage. And we need, as humans, more than just people of colour, to ask why that would ever be okay. Because though it might be occurring to the Black community this week, I don't think there won't be another community that's affected in this way in to come. We need to see the human thread here. And that's what the blood, sweat and tears was about. It was also looking at those moments that on a personal level have hit me in my life, things that have been traumatic, things that I've watched people go through, things that I've watched people go through. I don't believe that you go and you suffer and you hurt and you survive for no reason. Do it because you know what? The second that you are somebody that has survived something, you attain wisdom. That wisdom stop somebody or walk somebody through that is going through the same issue that has nobody. And they can turn on a stereo and they can, for 4 or 5 minutes, feel understood. So that's what I did. I took a lot of moments that were pain, all for me, that I've been lucky enough to survive from or I'm still affected by. And I created a body of work that I felt would address those messages. I feel would showcase my musical versatility, because I feel that I'm able to be melodic. I'm quite versatile in terms of how I write as an artist. And I basically wanted people to feel something here when they heard my music and just only tap their foot. So that's been my journey, and that's what helped me start to create some of these songs that were getting some of this feedback, because they were addressing topics that I turn on the radio and I don't hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things, isn't it? It's like a lot of people tend to go with what is safe instead of talking about exactly what is going on. And I think, if anything, that's kind of like what connected both of us, really, is because we want to highlight these things that aren't safe to talk about. Well, we need to talk about them, and we need to raise awareness and educate people. Would you say that that's generally kind of like the messaging behind your songs and your tracks, or would you say you kind of dip into other sorts of topics as well, and maybe it is a little bit of, I don't know, romance, and then it is a little bit of hardcore stuff? Like what were we looking at?
So I'm going to say I'm a very multifaceted person. So is my music. So I don't only want to say that every single track has to address a political issue or a social issue, but I'm somebody that is passionate about making a difference. But within that also, I'm a human, and I've had more, I believe, a more diverse range of experiences than most people have, positively and negatively. So some of them touch on my own romantic life. Some of them touched on my personal life, things I've encountered: grief, loss, mourning, being a mother, being a minority person, being somebody that also has an incredibly difficult disease that I manage, that people look at me never imagine I have. Things that where I shouldn't have beat the odds, I did beat the odds, and I completely turn my life into a life that I help people with, from a life that started looking like the trajectory would never get me to that place.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I decided, I define who I am and where I land, where I go and how I impact people. And I took all of that and I spun it on its head. So when I think of myself, I think of a complicated person. I think of a real person. I feel a passionate person. And I feel like a person that has an ability to relay extremely strong and important messages in a way that is meaningful to the people that listen to my music.
Amazing. Excellent. And I think as well, you know, it's just about representing a non-linear way of how life is. And I think if anyone thinks that, you know, I don't know, maybe someone who's in social media land, they just see it as all like highs. They don't notice the lows that are going on in the background. And that's where the lyrics come from. It's the lows, it's the behind the scenes of where our stories are coming from, right? So yeah, amazing. So are you in a current process of putting together an EP, or what's the current basis of that? Because I know there's some background work going on, and I really want to make sure that everyone hears about you and, you know, starts to download some of your music.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you about some projects that we've got going on the horizon.
Excellent. Love it.
I'm going to start with Unopia. So very, very quickly, Unopia was a play on utopia. Okay. The concept of it is, when we think of utopia, we think of we think of the ideal, we think of heaven, idealistic place. Unopia was a play on that because it's like the heaven and hell concept. It's like what we wish was occurring versus the reality that we live within. So it's one bit's aspirational, one bit is current and social. So for me, it was a play on those words because nothing is perfectly either of those things. Everything comes with negatives, positives, in between shades of grey. Life's complicated. So I wanted a body of work that was talking about all of those things. So that is what it is. We've got socially conscious tracks, party tracks. We've got stories of, you know, like current romances and ideals, what we want the future to look like. It's really exciting. So it's going to be a collection of those tracks. And of course, we're going to throw a few surprises at the end, but it's going to be really exciting. So yeah, we are working steadfastly through that as we speak. We've got a lot of tracks together. So it's more a case of picking which ones fit the bill. I've been lucky enough to work with an incredible producer called Ludwig. Now, his background, he's like a world-class producer and choreographer. Now, he is actually, in a traditional sense, an Afrobeats producer. But I don't feel that that's enough to represent how talented he is, because he has the ability to musically push those boundaries. He fuses together some incredible genres. And all I can say to you, Mal, is the first track alone that we're doing, watch the space, because it is incredible. Like, I've never listened to my own music as much as when we produced that track. And we're just working on and finishing it, so it should be finished on the next, probably, I'd say, between a month and 2 months. The track will be done. A lot of work has gone into it, but I feel it's so unique. I can't even give it a genre, but I can say, to me, it's groundbreaking. So that's another exciting thing that we're doing. Now, another thing I'm going to tell you about is our American EP for Bae-Lea. So Bae-Lea's American EP. So my EP is going to be paying homage to those classical components of hip hop that I align to the hip hop that comes from the USA. So, you know, a lot of my inspiration, people like Nas, etc., that I'm really passionate about, that I felt really changed the face of hip hop with their delivery, their consistency. You know, I want to make an album that takes you back to why we love hip hop. Takes you back to the roots, taking those components of the roots.
I like that.
Message it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
Doing so with soul and passion. like back to where it was like competitive. I used to listen to it and be like,
Yeah.
wow, did I really just hear that? Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes I miss that. So I think, again, create it. Don't miss it, create it.
I like that.
That is what we're doing with the American EP. The other stuff, I'm going to have to be a bit tight-lipped because so much time in the show. But all I'm saying is the things that I've discussed. Please watch this space because all of them are meant to really get you thinking, really get you passionate, really make you emotional, but in a good way, in an inspirational way. So just check them all out if you get a chance to.
Amazing. I mean, look, Bae-Lea, obviously, I know we're kind of splitting the parts of this show because we wanted to kind of, speak to you as, an artist and get to know what is to come. So definitely, viewers, please follow Bae-Lea. You're gonna, obviously, I'm gonna drop all the handles and everything you're gonna see in the info below, as well as things that are now popping up the screen as I'm talking and yapping away. But I wanted to talk to you about Prototype. So am I saying that right? Is it Prototype or Prototype? How should I be pronouncing this?
Prototype.
Okay, cool. So so not only are you an artist, but you're also a music producer, and I believe you've partnered up with a brilliant, I believe you described her at one point when we were talking as your musical twin flame, KK, right? So I wanted to bring KK into this conversation because I know you're in the room. So please make yourself known so we can all get to see you.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. It's nice to meet you. Finally, I've heard nothing but great things about you. So,
Likewise.
excellent. So, talk to me about this journey and this partnership because it sounds really refreshing to hear.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's been the experience so far has been amazing. So my background is in musical, so I'm a singer, songwriter. I'm more focused on the songwriting side of things now. So basically, me and Bae-Lea, we've known each other for a number of years. I'd say maybe over 10, yeah, maybe over 10 years. We reconnected a few years back, musically. And in the process of working on the EPs that Bae-Lea's previously mentioned, it kind of only made sense to develop, a production company. The main focus of that was to basically have an in-house stable that provides Bae-Lea with everything that she could possibly need musically. And also, in the future, to enable us to work with other upcoming artists, and again have a home stable for them to grow as artists and release music. So that was the basic idea of it.
I would say I definitely concur with that, Kay. I would say from my perspective, from a production point of view now, I've been producing since I was very, very small. I'm self-taught. I taught myself to write, produce, and play instruments, and over many years perfected that craft. Yes, I have known KK for a long time, but KK is far too humble. I can't just come together, so I'll be the one to play the trumpets for her. So, I'm gonna say, being honest with you, I always felt like a lone ranger musically now. I felt that with the exception of KK, I was never in a situation where, from a production point of view, I ever heard anybody whose take on music, whose knowledge of hip hop resonated with me or matched my own. KK is so unique because she is the singer that should have been the rapper. She has an incredible hip hop background, foundation, knowledge, and ear. And ears you can't buy, they're like God given natural talents. Me and her would be in the studio getting goosebumps together. Just because we felt that passion and we both had that shared joy about creating music. Really excited people, made a difference, she very much like myself is very unique. I don't think anybody sounds like me, looks like me, has my necessary viewpoint. When I looked at her musically, even though she's got an amazing gift for songwriting, what I saw was somebody like me. She was a trailblazer. She wasn't scared to be who she is. She wasn't scared to stand out and be different. And she wasn't scared to take musical risks.
Nice.
Saying those things, pushing those boundaries. And yeah, we fit like a glove. So, you know, it's the only time musically that I've worked with somebody. It is work because we do lots, but it really just doesn't feel that way because there's synergy.
I can definitely second that now. I want to touch back on something that Chelsea said a moment ago about me, even though I'm an R&B artist, songwriter, my love and my passion is in hip hop. If I could rap, I would have been a rapper. But I think the reason why we work so well together is because I think Bae-Lea, is the reverse of myself. She's a hip hop artist at her core, but she has a soulful and melodic edge. So it's almost like those two come together when we're producing, writing. We just complement each other perfectly and create magic musically.
And just to put it out there as well, we've now got a professional studio, which we have built, and that is for Prototype. And we've got a semi-professional one as well. So during the day, we can put our ideas together, and then we've got a professional studio that we can record in, and we can have live musicians and our emerging artists in the future can also work there, because we're really, really serious. Like we want to break through and we want to show people out there.
Excellent. So what's the kind of vision for Prototype as a, you know, as a business, as a music production platform? You know, is it about bringing new artists as well? I mean, obviously the focus now, I'm assuming, focuses on yourself, Bae-Lea, which is, you know, of course, understandable. But yeah, what's that kind of vision going to be like? Is it just going to be women of color, or what's, you know, what's the kind of focus?
It's open to everybody. Any artist that has talents, we're open to working with. I mean, as you mentioned, currently the focus is on Bae-Lea and Bae-Lea's projects. Once we push those out in the manner that we want to, then we can turn our focus to working with other artists. But there are no restrictions. The only requirement is talent and passion.
Exactly.
Passion and talent, that would help.
But you'd be surprised, Mel, you know. I think you know, we are the vision for Prototype is to create groundbreaking soulful music. Okay, so if we get into like the little business side just for a moment, what we're talking about is, again, female producers are underrepresented in the music industry. Again, if we're talking as a quota. So I think that is powerful to be able to be a duo, to commercially produce music for Bae-Lea, and to then after Bae-Lea's music is established, look around and help and be the way up for those gifted artists that have no outlet. The amount of times that I've listened on social media when I've gone past some of the other videos that are not so memorable is when I see these voices and I'm like, what are you doing in your bathroom? Like, why are you there? Like, they're the people we're going to reach. And we are going to take those people that shouldn't be in their bathroom and we're going to put them in everybody's living room.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what the Prototype vision is, to take maybe to take love, talent and passion and turn it into, you know my name, you know my music catalogue, you hear what I do best. That's the vision of it.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's like, you know, like what you said, you know, it's about trying to, you know, that groundbreaking aspect of it and ensuring that these people are pushed, because a lot of people just don't have that confidence. Are you going to incorporate some sort of coaching with that as well, or how is that? Yeah, is that all going to be part of the package that people could expect? And
there will be a you know, a large element of development. It as a yeah, definitely developing songwriting skills. I mean, for the artists who play instruments, developing their ability to play their instrument at the highest standard. And a lot of people kind of overlook the technical side of recording.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that as a vocalist, whether you're a rapper, a singer. There's a lot of technique that goes into that. So another one of the aims will be to develop their ability, their recording ability. Stage presence
is another one.
Yeah.
I think again, you touched on it, and it's confidence. You can have a great, like I see so many artists with great voices. Exactly what you said. You have to tell this world you are that great, and that is a journey in itself. So it's developing and enhancing that confidence, so that when they are in the recording arena, when they're safe and they're at home, that they can take that message, they can take that talent on a stage where lots of people are staring at them, and into that world where people are asking them really difficult questions, or they're putting a spotlight on them for the first time. Presenting the best version of themselves that they can, because what we're not trying to do is, you see, there's a fine line for music coaching. We are trying to keep all of their musical identity, which for me is one of the most fundamental things as being an artist. We are helping kind of perfect that messaging. So everything they aim to be, they're able to have the confidence to exude that in a professional recording, technical aspect, performance aspect, and when they're working with the media. Because again, it's these things that sometimes disadvantage people that don't have that development. So then people with nowhere near as much talent as these people have are running so far ahead. Injustice in that, and quite an imbalance, and we're not going to allow that to happen.
Absolutely. Definitely. And I think that is such an important thing. It's about, making sure that they've got that courage and that belief in themselves. And I think that is one of those, I'm safer to sing in my bathroom, or to sing to a family member, or just on my own, just so that no one else hears me, and I'll just keep it to myself. But this is about raising those voices. And everyone's also like, they've got their own USP, their own unique selling point. So it's like, it's about showing that, Bae-Lea, you mentioned earlier, everyone's got their purpose, no matter what trials and, problems that you've been through, you've got your purpose because you're still here. And this is part of that journey that we want to embrace. So amazing. This is great. It's so positive, and more power to you both to get this going. And then obviously, Bae-Lea, with your own artistic journey, which I know is going to be successful and already proven is successful. So this is great. Now, I also wanted to bring a third person into this, because you are working with someone called Paul. Now, let's get Paul into this conversation now, because we've got this head of promotions person that I've also been hearing about, and I wanted to loop him in. So wherever he is, let's get him in.
Here he comes. Come on, take the hot seat, Mr.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Paul. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to be on the show. So you're head of promotions, and you've got a huge background in and knowledge in protesting as well. I want to know your spin on this. So how did you get to know Bae-Lea and become part of this whole journey and this exciting artistic, creative journey?
Well, I've known Bae-Lea for a number of years now.
Yeah.
It was more recently that she let on the, obviously she could sing and do what she does.
Yeah.
And when she did, it sort of resonated with a lot of the protest work in regards to the different laws and things that I'd sort of self-taught myself, and helped other people to know their rights and things. And obviously, I just sort of felt a need to sort of be a part of that world. It's a big change to what I'm used to, but at the same time, it sort of resonates with what I believe in. That sort of.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of what's kind of your focus is kind of head of promotion. So you're kind of like the marketing genius, the kind of, so that we can all see our eyes and ears on Bae-Lea. So what's the kind of background on that side of it? How are you finding that so far?
I've got a little bit experience in marketing, in different marketing and things from different aspects of life that I've done previously. But learning the new techniques, algorithms, and things, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely got its own, its kind of its own process.
It definitely has.
I think it has, and I think for me, Mal, I think Paul is like, we call him the third musketeer, because Paul is really been passionate about helping people on the ground. So we're talking about resettlement people, we're talking about human rights, we're talking about people that have been left with no support. Paul took it upon his own back to go out there, and he actually is self-taught in the way that I am musically. He went out, he educated himself on things like local family and court law, provision like that, etc.
Amazing.
And he then utilised that information to support people that didn't have their own voice. So he would advocate for them, support them during meetings. When they were having meetings with people of authority, he equipped them with those supporting rights. What I saw in him that kind of made me think, you know what, like, he probably would resonate with this journey, is the fact that he had the ability to connect with people. He can connect with people. He can make people interested in things, because he's actually a really quiet but passionate guy. So he's out there. He will ask nothing of nobody that he won't do 10 times harder himself. Excellent. And it's that type of momentum that means that he can go out and he can look at opportunities for myself as an artist and for us as Prototype and be like, why aren't we banging the drum down there? When he does that often, he's like, wait there, I've been to this place and we're missing a trick here. And able to do that. And what I wanted for the team now is I wanted people with different skill sets and different approaches. Very quiet and stoic, but his actions speak louder than his words, and by God, he's effective in getting Bae-Lea's messaging out there.
Amazing. So, like, in terms of yourself, Paul, are you still quite heavily involved in like the activist sort of side of things as well? Because again, you know, with what Bae-Lea's doing and in terms of her messaging and what she wants to put out there, you know, two worlds are kind of blending in really well. So is that something that you're still kind of keen on doing, on, you know, as well as
I still do a lot, but more in the background rather than on the front line.
Yeah,
because it's a lot more difficult now to do things, be on the front line all the time and do this.
Absolutely. we need 3 pulls at least for that.
At least.
Yeah, at least. Oh, that's brilliant. So kind of like, what's your kind of vision in terms of your journey working with Bae-Lea and, you know, being that third musketeer and kind of bringing the whole piece together? What else do you kind of envision for Bae-Lea's journey?
Well, I think with Bae-Lea's journey, as well, we all know music in itself resonates and empowers people. Now, whether that's just the melodies, the lyrics themselves, if people like I did, and it resonated with me, maybe music has brought things together. People together all across the board. It changes a lot, because it does.
Yeah.
I think we a massive change could be made, and will be made. Not could be. Sorry, I do apologise. Will be made.
Will. Yeah.
There is no could. There is no maybes. There is no ifs.
Yeah, exactly.
It will make a difference. It will make a change. There's a lot of people that are going to resonate with the message that Bae-Lea's music is going to put forward.
Amazing. Yeah. Definitely. And I think, you know what, it seems, Bae-Lea, like you've got an amazing team that really believe in you. And, you know, and obviously, you know, you've got my support anyway. Like, we've known each other for a while now, and but mainly focus on the media side of it. But honestly, I wish you all the best on this journey, and I can't wait to hear more. And I know you'll probably be back on this show because there'll be more updates, there'll be more things to talk about. There'll be much more on this journey that we can't wait to hear. So thanks, Paul, for for your time and kind of talking about your input, and also well done on all what you're doing in terms of advocating for human rights, for what you're doing for people, as well as, bringing this loop between, it's almost like activism and music, which definitely align. It definitely goes well together. It's those pieces of the puzzle that we all need to put together. And, again, thank you for all the hard work and the great work that you're doing behind the scenes without, there we go. Thank you. Excellent. So, Bae-Lea, of course, I need to know where we can hear more about you and more about Prototype and even more about yourself, Paul. So feel free to plug away all of the ways that we can follow you, hear you, and follow for more info.
So Mel, I am Bae-Lea now, and I'm in the process of the name change being official on Instagram. So at the moment it's unrap89, but that is literally going through the formal change now that I've become Bae-Lea. So if you go on the handle, you will literally see what I've been doing in the last 12 months with regards to Prototype. The Instagram handle is at Pro2Type, Pro2Type.
Excellent.
So that will also enable you to see that. Now that is literally fresh. So the game plan with that is that over the next month, we start putting our finished productions on that page. There starts being a lot more of an interface with me and KK, our views on the music, what we're doing, how it's different, and how it's going to kind of shape that journey to Prototype as well. So that's really good. I'm on SoundCloud as well. So some of those tracks that we were talking about today are on there. Tracks like Way Out that got a lot of coverage. Holy Grail, which got some really exceptional coverage, is also on there. So Black Bloods in its full entirety. So I would say, anybody that is curious, tune in and listen. And honestly, I love feedback. I'm not a snowflake, so it's not a strong opinion or a suggestion. Somebody wants to hear more of this or more of that. Look, I'm an artist. The whole thing is I just want to move people, and I just want to, in a positive way, have a voice, make a difference, and I want people to kind of like me as an artist and watch my journey. So yeah, thank you, Mal. You've always been ultra supportive, and I love the way that your kind of podcast addresses those issues and really puts important things at the forefront, because everything right now isn't touching the type of topics that you're touching regularly. So similarly to my music, a breath of fresh air. So thank you, and thanks again for having me on, having my team on, and I really look forward to coming with some much more exciting news even.
Oh no, my pleasure, totally my pleasure. Guys, you've heard it, okay? Make sure you check out Bae-Lea. Obviously, you've got all the handles that are popping up on the screen, and we're going to be in the info as well in terms of the links and SoundCloud and everything. So Bae-Lea's got her she's going to be busy sending me all of these links that you're going to see displayed at the bottom of this YouTube and podcast. So thank you so much. Thank you, Bae-Lea. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, KK. And I know you're sitting there in the corner somewhere. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Mel Hurry Show. I cannot wait to hear more. Take care.
Thank you. Stay blessed, Mel. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the show. For more content on social media, don't forget to follow at Mel Hurry Films on Instagram, or you can email me at themelhurry@gmail.com. Take care. Bye.